So in North Korea, these citizens typically view their leaders, well, their current leader, Kim Il-sung, as being like a national hero. He's pretty much seen as like a deity and very godlike. And they use a lot of propaganda to further enforce this ideal image of him. So for example, they have thousands and thousands of statues of their past leaders, you know, the great leader, the dear leader, all over. There are posters and pins. Every North Korean is required to wear a pin at all times to show their loyalty. And basically, it's sort of like a personality cult.
So one of the main concerns that a lot of people think about when they question the methods of North Korea is how the government sort of expects the citizens to act. And in North Korea, I've researched that the Koreans believe that they're born virtuous, which is really comparable to the philosopher John Locke's tabula rasa belief, which is where everyone is born with a clean slate. But in this respect, they're never really corrupt in North Korea because they live in such a virtuous society. And the government upholds that people should never believe that they have a true understanding of a certain profession or trade, because this would be very arrogant of them in the North Korean lifestyle. So the government sort of assumes this very aggressive, nurturing, mother-like position over the people where they always have something to learn and they never really have a true understanding of a certain trade or a certain craftsmanship, because that would be very insolent of them. So they're always expected to assume this childlike persona in regards to their greater leaders.
Okay. In North Korea, jobs are assigned by their social class. The upper class is called the loyal class and are typically assigned government positions. The middle class or the wavering class are generally factory workers.
And the lower class or the hostile class is mostly made up of farmers or peasants.
Media often emphasizes the personality cult that has been ongoing in North Korea for centuries now. Everyday announcements are broadcasted that emphasize praise for the dear leaders that they have and show the country in a great light. In the city of Pyongyang that we get to know through researchers going there, we only see certain information, and it's really restricted.
Well, first off, in every school it is required to have a separate room for the worship of the great leader and the dear leader that contains shrines of both of them. It is mandatory to remove your shoes before going in the room, and it is kept very sacred. Pictures of the Kim dynasty are also legally required to have in every classroom. Although it varies in each grade, there are specific times to learn the history and the teachings of the Kims, either before or during class time. In addition to this, most songs, dances, and marches are performed in the school that are dedicated to their leaders.
Corrupt is one word to describe the education system in North Korea. It is very dishonest and shady. The high schoolers are known for being the most brilliant students in North Korea, but this is very false. In North Korea, to get acceptance into colleges, parents bring boxes full of bribes to the principals in order to get acceptance. And that is why the North Korea education system is very corrupt.
Those in Pyongyang are far more advanced than ones in the country. They all have classrooms covered in anti-American propaganda. There's also portraits of the dear leader and the great leader in them. Kim Il-sung University in Pyongyang is very grand, and this is only really available to the top elite students, and it includes the computer lab along with the pool.
The North Korean education system is an 11-year compulsory free education program. This program involves 2 years of kindergarten, 4 years of primary school, and 5 years of middle school. Typically, upon completion of the 11 years, usually age 15 or 16, women go to work and men go to their obligatory military service. Higher education consists of only about 30 or 40% of middle school graduates going directly to high school. Another 5% attend high school after completing military service, and with fewer than 10% of those high school graduates going on to college or university.
North Korea is a very unknown place, and its prisoners of war are subject to lots of postpartum depression. Boom.
North Korea's government claims that it provides universal health care for all, but defectors and health professions working abroad in North Korea have claimed that the only people that get health care are the ones that can pay for it, high-ranking members and military members. Furthermore, the amount North Korea spends on health care is less than $1 per person per year.
So no, the average North Korean approximately makes only $35,000, which is only the middle class North Korean. The lower class actually makes lower than $10,000, which in their society, in a compact apartment, they would have up to 6 people because they would have their grandparents move in with them because society is so rough as.
North Korean society is divided into 3 social classes which are assigned to birth. The loyal class, the wavering class, and the hostile class. The wavering and hostile classes take up 72% of the 24.5 million Koreans. The loyal class has the privilege of better food, better housing, medical care, education, and employment, while the wavering and hostile classes do not get that good stuff.
The smallest things in Korea can be considered a crime. For example, if a newspaper article talks about Kim Jong-un and someone uses it as rolling paper for tobacco,
or we eat legal there.
they will be thrown into a prison camp.
Media is the main source of propaganda in North Korea. The media is completely controlled by the government and has a focus on the personality cult surrounding Kim Jong-un. The viewing of media not approved by the government is illegal.
Juche is the national ideology of North Korea. It was originally implemented by former dictator Kim Il-sung to help developing countries become more independent. Juche mainly focuses on self-reliance and emphasizes that countries should be politically, economically, and militaristically independent.
Confucianism is a system of philosophical and ethical teachings founded by Confucius about 2,500 years ago. The basic beliefs of Confucianism are centered on the need for hierarchy. It is the role of the individual to represent the family and the role of the family to represent the state. Confucianism sits at the core of collectivist culture today. This promotes complete conformity. Though Confucianism in North Korea has changed from traditional teachings, basic principles still remain.
In North Korea, the people are pretty much unreligious, except for the ideology of Juche. Juche is pretty much unwavering reliability upon the government and their dear leader in order to teach them how to live their everyday lives. Unfortunately, although there are other religions present in North Korea, they're pretty much all but squashed by the dear leader and his Pubyak police.